neighbor is the worst. One time this guy moved next to me, and he made so much noise every night. It was always, "Help! I'm not dead, for real! Someone let me out! Help!" At least it only lasted a few nights. That's why it's always good to be mindful when a new neighbor moves in.
In 2002, I lived in a quiet neighborhood outside of Dayton, Ohio. Once in a while, I would talk to my neighbor Sam. He was a plumber. His wife Lisa was the very unofficial neighborhood watcher and a real busybody. A few houses down was an empty house that had been foreclosed on. It wasn't in good shape, and I heard the family had destroyed the inside before they left, ripping out fixtures and punching holes in the walls. A real mess. One day on my way home, I see a family moving in. I spoke to Sam about it the next day. He said he went over there to offer them a discount on plumbing work. He said the man who answered blocked him from seeing in the house. Sam said he could still see there was no furniture, just a couple of old mattresses in the middle of the floor. "Hey, I'm your neighbor from down the road. I'm a plumber, so if you need any work done, I'd be glad to give you a discount."
"We don't need work done."
Every night around 5:30, I would walk my dog, and I would often see the man from that house come home. His car was old and beat up. The car was loaded with trash to the point you couldn't sit in the back seats. He wore clothes that looked old and worn. I figured they didn't have much money. I would always say hello to him, but he would always ignore me. So eventually I gave up and would say nothing. Once I saw him at a local grocery store. His cart was loaded with mostly beef. "Having a barbecue?" He gave me a nasty look and made a strange hissing sound, and stormed off to the checkout. Naturally, I was very confused. I told Sam about it the next day. He told me his wife had become very interested in this odd family, and had seen the lady in her backyard following a cat around. She said the lady got very angry and upset when the cat got away. Then she said the lady had a wig on and it came off. She said her head looked scaly like a reptile. I think Lisa was probably seeing things. I'm getting worried about her. She thinks they're reptilians. I didn't think they were reptilians, but I was very curious, so I came up with an idea. The next day, I walk my dog and wait for the guy to get home. When he pulls in, I walk over and release some of my dog's leash so she can go over to him. She runs over to him, but when she got close to him, she ran back to me. I walked up close to him. He would not look at me or say anything. Then he turned his head and I saw he had a toupee on. And I saw on his neck what looked like scaly skin. Maybe Lisa was right. That night, like Lisa, I found myself doing research on reptilians. I talked to Lisa on the phone to get the details of her account. Later that week, a teenager who would do yard work around the neighborhood asked me about the strange people down the road. He told me he went to ask them if they needed their grass cut. A boy answered and just shook his head no. He could see inside behind the boy. He saw them sitting at a table. He swore it looked like they were eating raw meat. A little over a year later, they got into their old car and just took off. A few weeks after they left, there were some cleanup workers from the realtor company at the house. I went over to talk to them. They told me the house was disgusting. Dirty old mattresses that had only sheets on them, a table that looked like it came from the trash, holes in the walls, holes where toilets used to be full of feces. Garbage filled the kitchen. They said the smell was unbearable. I'm still looking for a reasonable explanation for what happened. I can't believe there were reptile people or aliens. I just don't know what to think.
I can't believe they just ran off without saying goodbye. What a cold-blooded thing to do! If you enjoyed the video, subscribe and leave us a like and comment for more hysterical horror! Get it? Hysterical horror!
Okay, I was dared by Jared to stand in front of Bunnyman Bridge without turning around. Yes, without turning around from 11:59 to 12:01. And Frank is going to tell me when my time is up. Yes, I will. And it's midnight now. Just 1 minute. Sean. What? Dude, there's something behind you. Very funny, Frank. I'm not joking. Get away from there. Frank. Frank, you're not gonna scare...
Bunnies are so small and cute. No one would suspect a bunny. That's what makes them the perfect killing machines. Or at least it seems one man thought so in Virginia.
Robert Bennett, an Air Force cadet, and his fiancée were parking in a field after a football game. It was around midnight. They were really involved in their parking. Too involved to notice.
Get the hell out of here! This is private property! I have your tag number!
As they drove away, they noticed the man disappearing into the woods, and a hatchet on the car's floor. Security guard Paul Phillips was doing his normal rounds.
Construction in this area started in 1967 and has been ongoing since. Security was hired early on, mostly to prevent graffiti and discourage theft. It being so close to Halloween, I figured there might be a little more excitement than usual, but nothing like this. Hey, you lost? This man didn't do anything. Didn't move, didn't make a sound. He had an axe, but I wasn't sure of how serious I should take him. It was close to Halloween. Then all of a sudden he started chopping at the porch while saying, "You're trespassing. You come any closer, I'll chop your head off." The axe was real. I got out there quick as I could and called the police. But by the time they arrived, the bunny man was already gone.
Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment. Go on. Hop to it. That is, unless you don't care at all. Get it? Carrot? Oh, in case you're wondering, I have it on good authority that the bunny man lived happily ever after. Get it? I've got to stop these puns. They aren't bunny anymore. Have you ever seen something that scared you so much you were paralyzed in fear? If you have, tell me about it. I haven't seen much of anything lately. That's what happened to a woman from California in tonight's true scary story.
My husband and I lived on a small farm. We had been living there about a year when this happened. One evening, I had just finished putting the horses away for the night. I thought about how weird that animal looked while I walked to the house. A few weeks later, in the early morning, I'm woken up by the dogs carrying on. I went back to the house. I went back to sleep. Thinking about it now, it was so strange how I just went back to bed after seeing that thing. I didn't wake up my husband. I didn't even tell him what happened. When I thought about the creature, I began to feel bad for it and less afraid of it. A month went by, and I was out riding. I saw it again. I saw it a few more times, looking at me from the woods. Then I stopped seeing it. I haven't said anything about it until recently. I did tell my husband and sister eventually. I don't think my husband believes me, but my sister said she saw it one afternoon, watching her from the woods. What was that thing?
Oh my god, can you believe it? That freaky little thing was just running around naked. Put on some clothes, you freak! It's the right thing to do! You know what else is the right thing to do? Hitting the like button and leaving a comment when you enjoy a video. Before I end this episode, it's important for me to let you guys know the naked creature was eventually found and arrested.
When the cops arrived, he couldn't hide his crack.
Kids don't think things through. Growing up, there was a gang of 8-year-olds that robbed the local bakery. They really took the cake! Still, they don't hold a candle to the terrors in tonight's true scary story.
In the summer of 2018, I went out one morning to water my roses as usual. I noticed someone had trampled all over them. I was pissed.
What the hell?
The next day, I see 2 kids walking back and forth on my road. I only have one neighbor, and she doesn't have kids. I've never seen kids on my road. So I figured these kids must have trampled my roses. So I go to get my shoes on to confront them. Suddenly, I felt a jolt of fear and paranoia. I felt I shouldn't go out to the kids. Instead, I go to look at them from the front window. I start to feel angry and embarrassed that I let some stupid kids get to me. I go to get my shoes, but when I get back, they were gone. Later that evening, things got weird. Who's there?
We are sorry to bother you. We are lost and need to call our parents. Please let us in. Let us in right now.
I have a gun. I will shoot you if you try anything.
Let us in. You are making a mistake.
I open the door, gun ready. I see their eyes look like black voids. I felt like I was being hypnotized. Then the taller boy started walking into the house. I snapped out of it and slammed the door. I ran to lock the back door. Then the knocking and screaming stopped. They were gone. My neighbor came over. She said she heard yelling. I told her what happened. She said I should call the police, but I never did. I don't think they'd believe me.
A report was eventually made to social services. When the children's strange demanding behavior was described, the social worker asked if the old man thought they were spoiled. He said no. All kids smell that bad. Thank you all so much for stopping by today. Remember to subscribe and ring that bell to be notified when we put up a new video. Leave a like and comment too, unless you're some kind of brat. Aw, come on, I'm just kidding. Get it? Kidding? Hey, have you ever wanted to rob a bank? Be more attractive? How about not die? Well, then I have some great news for you. My official Skelly Fun mask can help you with all of those. That's why I'm putting them on sale until Halloween. Links in the description. See you all there. Revenge is sweet, fun, and best served cold. Clearly, revenge is ice cream. While tonight's story is an act of fiction, it serves as a cautionary tale about trust, love, and revenge.
From the moment we met in high school, my wife and I were inseparable. As the years pass, it's normal to lose a little bit of that fire. But we had a house and a son, and we're still very much in love. Or so I thought. I worked overnight. Tonight, I went out like I was going to work, but instead picked up a bottle of wine to surprise her. I stood there, paralyzed, silent. I wanted to scream, but couldn't. I didn't know what would happen next, but I knew whatever it was, I would have to be quiet. As I saw him walking away, I was again filled with pain. No, anger. Look at him, casually walking away from what I had worked my entire life for, like it was nothing. That is my house with my things and my family. And he casually uses it and walks away when he's done. I could use my gun. My gun would wake my son. A knife. A knife would make a mess. No. I need this to be clean. I need to clean up this mess. Clean up her mess. Clean. A plastic bag. A clean plastic bag. A garbage bag. For the garbage. The plastic bag made it clean, but did nothing for the sound. The pillows helped there. You promised me forever. You liar. You promised. And now I'm alone. I was broken, but now was not the time for crying. I put my wife on my back and I ran into the woods behind my house. They were big, dangerous, and bordered the entire town. After hiding her in a place I was sure no one would find her, I ran back home. Ironically enough, I made it back at the time I wouldn't have made if I had actually gone to work. My son was there when I opened the door. He looked at me for a moment, then turned his head. 4 days passed. I filed a police report. I was never even questioned. Apparently, the neighbors saw a strange man, not from the area, leaving my house in the middle of the night. And also saw me open my front door at the time I usually get home from work. My son seemed okay, but continued to have trouble making eye contact with me. I began to worry that he had seen what I had done. That night at dinner, I brought it up to him. If he had seen something, I should be able to convince him he is remembering things incorrectly. Samuel, you've been different these past few days. Is there something you want to say? Are you worried because you don't know where Mommy is?
Daddy, I know where Mommy is. She been on your back for days.
I promise you will never be alone. I promise you will never be alone. I promise you will never be alone. I promise you will never be alone.
After all they went through, it's nice to know she'll always have his back. Thank you for having my back. Every sub, like, and comment means so much. I also want to thank the YouTube channel The Southcax for voicing this episode. A link to their paranormal investigations channel can be found in the comments. I do feel bad about that guy. He was so handsome.
His wife said he was breathtaking.
Oh my God! That guy almost sneezed on you! You could have died! Good thing I was here to save you. Wouldn't it be nice if you could always have me around to save you? Well, now you can, when you buy a Skelly Fun mask, and you'll be helping support the channel. They're $2 off until November 1st, so order now. When I was a kid, I thought my mom was an idiot. She was always yelling, "Clean your bloody room!" After hearing this story, I'm glad I listened.
It was a Tuesday night. I was taking a bath and I noticed a red stain on the floor. I got out to look at the strange stain. That's when I noticed red liquid seeping from the walls. It looked like blood. I put my clothes on and hurried into the hallway. It's on the hallway floor. I called my husband, but he didn't answer. Now I'm really worried. He's 79 and needs dialysis to clean his blood. He's not in the best health. Then he appeared at the other end of the hall, looking fine, just confused. Did someone who was bleeding break into our house? We start searching the house. In the kitchen, it was everywhere. On the walls, puddles under appliances. There was so much blood. It seemed to be too much for even just one person. Terrified, we called the police. They searched the house and were convinced it was blood, but found no source. The police had no explanation for the blood either. They took a sample to the lab. The results showed it was human blood type O. My husband and I both are type A, so it wasn't ours. The police never found the source for the blood. We lived in that house for 22 years and never had an incident. After the house was clean, the blood never came back. Our Atlanta blood house remains a mystery.
Would you have moved if that was your house? I know I would have moved. Around in the blood. Blood, 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 blood. Thank you all so much for your likes, comments, and sharing these videos. We need less than 50 subs to reach 1,000. So please continue to share the scares. And I'd like to offer a special thank you to the true crime queen, Mandy Mortem. To visit her true crime channel, click the link in the description. Later on, a paranormal expert discovered the house was trying to kill the husband. It turns out he only survived because he was in the living room. Get it? Living room? When I was young, I was terrified of the dark. Every night when the lights would go out, I would feel bugs crawling on my face. So one night, I waited. And when I felt the bugs, I quickly turned on my flashlight. That was the night I learned the dark could be way less scary than the light. Turns out the whole time it was my mom's mustache, touching me when she kissed my cheek. Lucky for you guys, she's not in this Halloween special. But trust me, it will still chill you to the bone.
Coming out tonight? It's Halloween, Saturday, and a blue moon all at once.
Yeah, I know. But what would I even wear?
I just don't understand why this wasn't done already.
Colin, please.
I've been here a week. You're telling me this whole time they couldn't have gotten this paperwork done?
Actually, I could not. I can't fill out the discharge paperwork before you're authorized to be discharged.
I'm sorry, Dr. Bridgman. He isn't normally like this.
It's quite all right. I am here to help you people, but people prefer being home. It's your home with your things. And since Colin here is no threat to himself or others, home is exactly where he belongs.
Always on a full moon.
Tracy, Radio security and tell them to start making their way up staircase D and wait outside until we open the door. When we lose power, it resets the electronics used in the exit door locks on this floor. It's done to try to prevent people from trying to get out during a power outage.
You mean I'm gonna be stuck here even longer?
This won't take long. When the power goes out, the lock defaults to a regular key, the same as any other door. Take the keys and meet security, and see if you can calm down the patients. What's happened?
Someone pulled Sam. Someone pulled Sam. Someone pulled Sam.
I'll try the emergency channel. This is Dr. Bridgman. We have a 1029H code 2 on the 6th floor. Do you copy?
Hey, you can't keep me here.
Colin, something is
Hello.
wrong.
This is Dr.
You're damn
Bridgman.
right something's wrong.
We have a 1029H
You signed me out.
code
I get
2
to
on the
leave,
6th
and
floor.
now
Do
these
you
guys are
copy?
saying I can't go.
Colin! Even if I let you out of this room, there were only 2 keys to this floor's exit doors. We need to wait for security to respond. We will get their attention. Tell them that someone is on the loose, possibly someone dangerous. They will lock down the hospital and do a floor-by-floor sweep. Once the building is clear, you can go home.
Oh my God.
People are getting dragged into the dark. I was in my car when the lights went out. My brother and I heard screaming, so he got out of the car and he got dragged away. You have to stay in the light. Like whatever you do, stay in the light.
This is Dr. Bridgman. We have a 1029H code 2 on the 6th floor. Do you copy? This is Dr. Bridgman. We have a 1029H code 2
Ravina.
on the 6th floor. Do you copy?
Don't you see what's happening?
This is Dr.
They don't
Bridgman.
want me to leave.
We have a 1029H
Colin,
code 2
I
on
don't
the
think
6th
you
floor.
understand
Do
how
you copy?
serious this all is.
I'm not crazy, Ravina.
This is Dr.
You expect me to
Bridgman.
believe I should stay here because there's
We
some
have a 1029H
boogeyman in the dark waiting to get me? I'm gonna get that key.
Colin, don't.
This is Dr. Bridgman. Colin, you're officially not a patient of Mercy Hospital. We are not trying to deceive you. We are like strangers, trapped in an elevator. The generators in this hospital can keep these lights on for 36 hours, but by tomorrow morning, the power company will have all this sorted, and you will walk out of here and go home.
Nope. Still no. Of course no. Why would it even be yes? It's just some kind of game to them. If the dark is so strong and dangerous, why doesn't it snap a pencil? They probably have a transfer to an even worse hospital coming for me in the morning. I need to prove it to them. I need to show them I know this is bullshit. I'll turn the lights off. Wake them up in the dark, and then they'll have to let me go.
Overcome your sorrow and your pain. Life can be tough when nobody knows your name. I wish for the very best, the best that life can bring. Well, don't you forget you're my
Hey, you guys didn't forget about me, did you? I hope you all have a fun Halloween and that you keep watching because we have more spooky content coming in November.
See you then.